Hey, what's up, good people? Bishop Ramsey here, and I am with my queen bee here, Dr. Alicia Ramsey, and we want to welcome you to the family room.
Yes, we usually record these in the basement at our house, but our topic today is going to kind of tell you why we had to meet in a different location
Yes.
to get our job done to help us have life balance. But
Yes.
thanks for subscribing to the channel.
And also, we want to thank you because you've heard us, and now you've been sending us information on subjects that you really would like us to be able to cover that really benefit you. And so we're going to be giving you that content here over these next couple of months. So we appreciate that in advance.
So our topic today, or let's say this, our discussion today
Yeah.
is going to be from the perspective of how we used to do a horrible job at it, and now we do a pretty good job at it.
And we do.
So when we're coming to you, we're going to come from life experience and perspective. Of course, there's always that foundation in Christ, but balance was something you wanted us to talk about, and it is something we too, in the beginning of our marriage, struggle with.
We really did. I had no balance. I had no balance when, I was work and home. I mean, it wasn't much recreation unless her and I did something. But it was really not very good starting out. And I'm just glad that, and we'll get to this part, but down the road, I started getting a little bit better at some of this stuff. So, but yeah, it was very bad early on.
Because we had goals. So we had financial goals.
Yeah.
And we had things that we wanted to achieve, ministry-wise, profession-wise for me, in our parenting. We had these goals that we wanted to achieve. So our grind was serious.
Yes.
Our hustle was serious. So not only were you pastoring the church, you were on the road a lot with evangelizing, and it was very important for me to support you in what God called you to do.
Right.
So allowing you to work 24/7, I didn't have a problem with it. And then we started to have, our children.
Yeah.
So I would make sure that I did my best to balance it between working in the school system and our children. So it was all work and no play.
Yeah, it really was. And then over time, we've grown into it in terms of recognizing that, hey, we need some better balance.
When did you recognize that you needed better balance?
I can't give you a specific time, but I just know that I think some of our discussions kind of led to it.
Yeah.
I can't tell you exactly when, but some of the talks that we had, sometimes late at night after the kids were going to sleep or during the course of the day when they were gone to school or programs, just those conversations just started kicking into me.
Yeah.
And
There was two moments.
It really started kind of bringing some conviction about it.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off. There was two moments per se that really stand out to me. One, they were little. So Jeremiah was a couple of years old, and Johnny had to be about 6. So Jeremiah's like 2, or Jeremiah might have been 3, and Johnny was like 7. So during the week, it literally took 2 people with our schedules, because by this time I was a principal and our church was really exploding. So we had a caregiver that would help us during the week, and a sitter that would sometimes help us in the evening when we needed that. So I remember a Saturday. So Saturday was my day me and the kids would go do our activities on Saturdays. So I remember one Saturday I was loading them up, and we getting our routine ready. Like we already had our routine. So it was a zoo, children's museum. What were we doing? We would have our routine. And you looked at us and you said, "Where are you guys going?" I was like, "Oh, we're going to, do our stuff." And you said, "I'll go." And I said, "You will?"
That was a turning point.
I was like, "You will?" Because I was just used to that was our routine. So he would stay home and study and do his stuff.
I come to the office and study 3-4 hours.
Yeah, so that was like a turning point. Like, I don't know what was going on in his mind. We didn't really dig deep into it, but it just shocked me.
It just registered.
Yeah.
I would say it just finally registered.
Because I would go home with them by myself. Like I did all those things because I was just kind of used to doing that. And then the second moment for me was COVID. Like when the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
And it was us. We had no care. We had nobody to help us with Jeremiah. It was just you and me.
We were just going at
tag teaming. And we had to do it all for ourselves. And I think that slowed us down a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it really did. And we started watching a lot of programs together, like a lot of people do. We started watching a lot of series together and different things like that. And now we've been doing that ever since. But
Yeah.
so I guess our point to you would be this. For us, we can't give you a specific date, but for me, when you brought up that subject there, for some reason on that day it just registered. Hey, I gotta jump in this water. I gotta spend time with these guys. I can still get messages done. I can
Right.
stay up late sometimes. I can get
Right.
up at 5 sometimes, whatever I gotta do, but I gotta get involved. I gotta jump in here and be a part of
Right.
this.
And early on, I didn't do things with friends. I didn't do girl trips. I didn't do any of that. I remember the first, girl trip I took, and we had been married for a while because the first girl trip I took, we had Judah. So we got Judah in 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
Did you do any before that? Remember the ladies from the school when you were in the system?
We would do like we would go to Chicago for a night
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
come back.
yeah,
So we would go and go shopping in Chicago and then
yeah,
we'd come back. But
yeah.
like a whole week trip
Yeah,
or
no,
a
not a
whole
week or anything like
or
that.
3-4 days, none of that. So I would say the balance, two things. If I could give them two suggestions, and why don't you expand upon two? The first one, I would say it is important to communicate.
Yes.
And second, negotiate. So communicate.
Communicate, basically, it simply means that you have to express your needs. Because
Yes.
sometimes in marriage, one of the things that people do is like one of the things I told her when we first got married, I was like, listen, pastoring is what I do, but I said, but when I get home, I don't want to discern nothing. If there's something that I'm not doing that you would like me to be doing, just tell me. But I don't want you to ever get frustrated because I'm not meeting a need that I don't know exists. So just make sure that you tell me. I think that would help me to be more effective.
And in dating, talk about it now. Don't think it's going to change because you get married. It's not going to change after you get married. You
Right.
got to talk about it. You can't date somebody and this frustrates me about him or this frustrates me about her. You got to talk about it. You with your adult children. We have to communicate when we want to see the grandbaby. We can't just sit around and getting frustrated that we want our time with Jace. We have to communicate that we need that. You got to communicate it with your aging parents. We used to have to communicate it with your mom because sometimes she wouldn't do that. Your
Sometimes
mama didn't
five,
want to
six
go
times in a
nowhere.
row, you'd have to communicate
They're
with
like,
her.
okay, Mom, Ramsey, why don't you come do this with us? And she'd rather be at home watching her show and drinking her coffee.
That's it.
But we had to communicate what we needed.
And it's amazing because when we pulled her out,
Yeah.
she had the time of her
She
life.
had a good time.
But we had to pull her out
Wow.
each time we did something.
And we made it so the balance would come. So even a way that we found to spend time with both sides. So one of my brothers got married in New York because that's where he lived, in New York and everything. So what we did was, I knew all of my family was going to be there. Both my grandmothers, my siblings, my mom and dad were going to be there. So we invited your mom to come. It's like, come on, you can see New York. You can. So that's a moment of
She had
balance.
never experienced
So our children got to be with all their grandparents. They got to be with their great grandmothers, and we had an amazing time.
Yeah.
And that's how a lot of times we will find life balance by incorporating things at the same time.
Yeah, and then I think another important word is intentional. Making sure that you're intentional about doing those things that you say that you're going to do.
Yeah.
We got a calendar. We put everything on our calendar.
Everything.
If she has something going on, appointments, whatever the case might be, she sends all of it to my calendar. If I've got certain things I need to do and take care of, or whatever the case might be, boom, I send it to her calendar. And then we got a big calendar at home in the mudroom.
Yeah.
So everybody knows what's going on. At the same time. And that really eliminates a lot of unnecessary frustration. Life is going to give you enough frustration by itself.
Right.
But that eliminates a lot of unnecessary frustration. Wouldn't you say?
Intentional about your family time. Intentional about your relationship time. Intentional about relationships need attention. If you're dating or if you're married, they need attention and you have to plan for it. And you always don't have to go away on an exotic cruise or,
Right.
Go to Hawaii. You can go downtown overnight. Plan for it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in an expensive hotel. You can stay in Embassy Suites or Homewood Suites. Those are nice hotels too. The
Right.
bottom line is the kids can't come in and wake you up, or you can't be bothered, or it's not about working, it's about spending time together. And
We did it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, what was the occasion?
We grabbed some. I grabbed some tickets for the Fever, the playoff, and then we went downtown. We set everything up, and we stayed overnight at the hotel. Afterwards, the next morning, got up, came on back home,
negotiated.
But we were refreshed.
Right.
We were refreshed. Just doing that
right.
was enough to refresh you going back into, okay, Jay needs this and Judah's going to need this and we got to go take care of this and I got to deal with the church or whatever. It really was a nice little break.
And we both did our part. So he did his part, finding the tickets. I did my part, finding the hotel. Like we negotiated it together. Like it takes both. Sometimes this is where women can frustrate me. I love y'all, but y'all can frustrate me. Y'all watch these movies. And y'all watch Lifetime. And that's not real life. It's just not real life.
That's the stuff you see on TV.
You want him to surprise you and have the roses in the room and the heart on the bed. Not saying that can't be done for super special occasions. Your 10-year anniversary or your 40th birthday. I get it. I'm talking about just to keep the balance on a regular.
Yeah.
You know, you both have to do that together, or you as the female will do it more, but God created us to be able to multitask. It's wired within us.
Absolutely.
But I feel like women, they'll say, I'm falling out of love because he doesn't this or she doesn't that. And that's not reality.
Exactly.
It's just not reality.
Yeah. Sometimes that life that you have in your head doesn't exist. And you have to learn how to make the best of the one that you have here, which is an incredible one.
Yes.
You just got to learn how to maximize it and do the things that are going to make your relationship healthy. A lot of times people have what I call lazy love. You know, they just, after a while, we just in the house together, we eating chicken together, the kids over here, we doing this, we doing that, and it's just the same routine. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if that's your thing, but something has to break that up. You know, whatever it took you to get her, you need to do some of that to maintain the excitement about the relationship, and vice versa, sister. Whatever you did to get them, you need to maintain some of that in order to keep the excitement in the relationship.
Right. And if you truly listen to married couples or people in relationships that are honest about their relationships, you will hear how much work it takes to have life balance. You know, sometimes you will, really look and idolize Jay-Z and Beyonce, or idolize Cardi B, and now she's with Stefan Diggs and she was with Offset. Like when you listen to them really talk, Sierra and Russell, when you listen to them really talk, Pastor Creflo Dollar and Taffy Dollar, when you listen to them talk, they will be honest and share with you the work that they have to put into their marriage and their relationship. I was listening to Denzel Washington talk about him and his wife, Pauletta Washington, the work that they had to put into their relationship.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very, very real. And I think that's what shocks people when they first get married. You know, they think that, hey, we're just going to be in Cancun for the next 40 years, but it doesn't work like that. You got to come back. You got your careers. Eventually, you start a family with children. You got to get to know her side of the family. You got to get to know his side of it. There's so much that goes on. And in the midst of all that, you have to build those pockets of time for one another, even if they're short windows. You have to have it in there to keep some excitement in the relationships. And I want to say this, and this might be, and it's going to be a little bit challenging, and that's this. If your marriage or your relationship grows stale, that's your fault. It's your fault. Whether you're the husband, whether you're the wife, whether you're the boyfriend or whether you're the girlfriend, it's your fault because you allowed it. Now, the important thing is you got to recognize it and then start putting pieces in place so we can now start changing it, just like we did.
But I like what you said about building. And it takes effort and energy to build something and to build that foundation and to be solid on it. So I shared, communicate and negotiate. And he shared being intentional. And those are the things that we do. You ask, what do we do to keep our life balanced? We're 30 years in. We learned a lot the first 10. We learned more the second 10. And we cruising it now and in our third set here. And
when you get into 3 decades, you kind of start cruising a little bit. You pretty much, you got something set in place that you both know how everything works.
Right.
And you do what you got to do. And if somebody's not meeting the other one's need, you communicate that.
You communicate
and that eliminates a lot of frustration.
Right. So we have a segment, Work Hard, Play Hard. And he is taking his bowling to the next level, y'all.
Next level.
like he has multiple bowling balls, and
I've got a
just
few.
tell them how you've enhanced your hobby.
Really, I've enhanced it, but we do it every week, just
Uh-huh.
once a week, on Tuesday nights. Every now and then, I'll just go over if I can got a gap of time and just bowl a couple games by myself and just leave.
Right.
And I don't know what it was about that, but like when I got out there, I just trying it one day. I was terrible at it, but I went out there, and I wasn't thinking about nothing but what I was doing right there. And I said, you know what, I'm going to keep doing this. But it's kind of grown. We got more guys coming out on Tuesday nights now to bowl. Everybody got 3 and 4 bowling balls and all that type of thing.
Right.
And the game is getting better. My game's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're having a good time with it.
That's good. And I did order for our trip that's coming up in November. I ordered 2 books that I'm going to read because I'm going back to I like to read books. Not really, what would I say? There's a certain type of book I read, and I'm going to find the correct name for it. It's not romance novels. That's not what I like to read. I like to read books that they're like historical novels. That may be what they're called, historical novels, to where they're fake characters, but the storylines around them are real.
Yeah.
So it may be set in the Civil War time. It
Right.
may be, set around a certain time period, and the way these characters move throughout that. I like reading those types of books. I've been listening to audiobooks. I've actually finished here recently 2 audiobooks.
Yep.
So that is a hobby that I'm getting back into, something
Yeah.
that I really
That's
like
something
to
I do as well.
is to and not for studying purposes, but just reading for enjoyment purposes. Something that I'm getting back into. So I am starting my hobby there.
Yep.
So
You're doing good.
I'm getting there. So we've been talking about really finding balance in your relationships. That's what our discussion was about today.
Yeah, and I hope we said something that was encouragement to you. And listen, keep the suggestions coming, things that you would like us to cover. Make sure that you send us a request, and we'll make sure we got them lined up, and we'll hit those subjects as best we can, one at a time.
One at a time, because some of you put like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8
You really did. In one sentence.
Because I said, read that again. But I thank you for the interaction. And you may have to bullet point it for us so
Yeah,
we know
bullet
that
point.
you want us to talk
Give me a
for all-
spreadsheet next time.
all of these different things. Because one thing about, we are really finding our way with the podcast, because we want it to be not a Sunday morning sermon, but we want it to be a conversation, that you're in this conversation with
Yep.
us. And we need your
Absolutely.
interaction. And for us to have your interaction, that means you have to put your information in the comment. And don't overthink it. That happens a lot. That you overthink that maybe because it's important to me, it won't be important to them. It will be important to us.
Yeah, we went through everything. I know I read through everything that came in,
Everything.
and we're excited about getting ready to share some of those things with you in the near future. So listen, be blessed, be encouraged, and just know that we are the family room. We love you being a part. So stay connected, and we'll see you on the next one.